Peoria is celebrating 50 years of friendship with their sister city in Germany. Leaders from Friedrichshafen are in the River City until Sunday, and last night they held a celebration at the Gateway building. Friedrichshafen is in southern Germany near Lake Constance. The partnership first started through international business connections, but has continued because of the friendships people have developed over the years. One of the highlights of the sister city relationship for those involved is a youth exchange program that sends German teens to the United States and Peoria teens to Germany for 3 weeks in alternating years.
Especially today, when the world can seem quite far apart, organizations like ours and the relationships that we continue to build are critically important.
The celebration is also meant to honor the volunteers who have kept that friendship alive all of these years, working with the Peoria Club in Germany and the Friends of Friedrichshafen in Central Illinois. You can meet the German guests at the German American Society Central Society's Summerfest event coming up this Saturday in Dunlap. We got more news and weather coming up in our next step.